you see a crowded beach, you think fun, not danger. But in a lifeguard's point of view, they're simply waiting for one thing to go wrong. Now here in a second, I'm going to show a picture of Australia from a few years ago. And you're going to have 10 seconds to find the person who's drowning or in trouble. Ready? Go. Oh, go. So that was actually a trick question. First off, nobody's drowning in that picture. And second off, that is not Australia. That's Virginia Beach. 2 years ago, 2024, which, fun fact, was the Virginia Beach Life-Saving Service's lowest record surf rescue count in the past 13 plus years. Now that was also my first year at VBLS, which just goes to show how good my preventative life-saving is. Now jokes aside, you can see how many people come to the beach on a non-busy year. So with all these people out on the beach, what separates a kid having fun from someone who's in life-threatening danger? Well, some people think that drowning looks like the image on the left. Someone's flailing around, screaming for help, and splashing water everywhere. While this is great for guards and easy to spot, this is simply not the case. In most instances, it's like the right. It's silent, it's fast, and it's easy to miss, leaving little time for error, exemplifying the need for aware guards. Now this can be made even worse through rip currents, which the United States Lifeguarding Association cites for the reason for 80% of all surf rescue cases. Now, a rip current is a funnel of water that flows out into the open ocean. From personal experience, it feels like a lazy river that's pulling you further and further from the shore. Now, if you ever get caught in a rip current, you can see the two red arrows that are on the sides. Make sure you swim parallel to the shore to get out of it. Most of the time, they're not that wide, so if you can get out of it, then you can get back to the shore. Now, if you try and fight a rip current, this is honestly the worst thing you can do. You're going to tire yourself out, and you're going to get pushed out into the open ocean, which is dangerous for the patron and the guard that's going after them. Now, I had the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Andy Bettinger, and one thing that he said that really stood out to me is that you have about a minute from when someone starts drowning until when they fully go under. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's not a long time, and this is made even worse through the conditions at the ocean front. I don't know if you guys have been there recently, but the water is not exactly clear. So when someone goes under, it's a very big deal. Now, seconds can be a matter of life and death in many instances. 1 second, a kid could be on a boogie board having the time of his life, and the next, a rogue wave hits him, and he is dragging the board down into the water with him. Or a woman can be relaxing on the edge of a sandbar, only to take a step forward, hit the drop-off, and be in deep water where she's not comfortable. Here in a second, I'm going to have a scenario on what a rescue could look like, helped with this 60-second timer. So, for the first few seconds, a lifeguard would be looking out over the water like they've been doing all day. They've been looking all day and nothing's happening until eventually they spot someone. There's a man 200 feet out who has fallen off the rip current. So they go ahead and call the rescue. Now, after grabbing their buoy, they're going to run along the shore and try and do their best David Hasselhoff impression. Once they reach in line with the man, they're going to go and swim as fast as they can. Now, they're going to get there, try and get there as fast as possible, but they're going to have their head up. So as they have their head up, they're looking for the man, but that just slows them down and tires them out more. Now, eventually, they've made it to the man within the time. But unfortunately, he's now barreling in your direction, trying to use you as a flotation device instead of your buoy. Now, after hitting him in the head a few times, maybe calming him down, you're ready for the next part. Now, unfortunately, after tiring yourself out and swimming as fast as you can out to the man, you're now exhausted. And you have to pull what feels like a truck behind you as you're swimming as fast as you can back to the shore. Now, you finally make it and hand the man over to your supervisor. Thanks, Kale. And all is well. You go about your day, and he goes about his. Now, you've seen from the first picture how many people come to the oceanfront? You've seen from the second what drowning can look like, and you've just seen, thanks to my friend Kale, what a drowning process could look like. All three of those things have one major thing in common, and that's that they show how important guards are to the safety of patrons. Now, I also had the pleasure of speaking to Tom Gill, who's the United States Lifeguarding Association president and the VBLS chief, and he was able to show some pretty interesting data to me. Now, I've got it collected in this chart right here. If you see the first top line, which is yellow, stands for lost and founds. Pretty obvious what that stands for, but that is when a kid is either lost or is found away from their family. And this is one of the most common things that is seen out at the beach. Now, just below that, on the red line, is surf rescues. And surf rescues are going to be your traditional rescues where someone is out drowning and a guard would go get them. Now, just below that is the blue and green lines, standing for major medical and minor medical. Now, a major medical is going to be more major, so something where a patron is transported in an ambulance to either an urgent care, an emergency department, or just hospital. These can be things like major lacerations, heart problems, anaphylaxis, or even extreme heat strokes. Now, the minor medical is more minor, things like small cuts that can be treated with a Band-Aid, jellyfish stings, or small heat exhaustions. So seeing all these figures, all these people who were saved and helped every year, how many deaths do you think there were at the oceanfront? Maybe in the busier years with almost 1,000 rescues, the number would be 20, 15, 10. Well, in most instances, that number is 0. As you can see here on this data, the blue line stands for fatal drowning guarded, which just stands for a time when there was a fatal drowning, when there was guards on stand. In most years, that number is 0. Now, there are some outliers, but most of the time, 0. Now, on that red line stands for fatal drowning unguarded. Those are the times when guards are not present, such as at night, early in the morning, or during the off-season. Now, this shows how important guards are in protecting patrons and how necessary they are to keep the public safe. Now, I know this was some pretty grim data, but I have something to lighten the mood. You have a 1 in 18 million chance of drowning on a guarded beach. 1 in 18 million. And that's from the United States Lifeguarding Association. To put that into perspective, you're more likely to be struck by lightning twice, to get killed by an asteroid, and to have quadruplets. Now, if you've heard nothing else from this talk, stay safe. The beaches are very fun, but very dangerous. Make sure you swim near a lifeguard, you know your limits, and can understand and avoid rip currents. You've also heard a lot about guards, so please respect them and don't just picture them as people who get paid to tan. Now lastly, you can help. Patrons can aid in many ways, such as bringing attention to an injured person, or the single biggest help of all, following the directions, or following the rules and the directions of lifeguards. Doing those two simple things can prevent rescues and events from ever happening, keeping patrons and guards alike safe. Thank you.